Hello Stampers, I'm Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin in the United States. Today I have some fantastic cards to show you. The Totally Techniques design team has a blog hop and we are going to be featuring stencils. Homemade stencils, techniques with stencils. I've got some great ideas to share with you. I'm going to be using the Falling Flowers stamp set and also the Mayflowers framelits. Both of these items are retiring with our annual catalog on June 3rd. I'm also going to be using the Thankful Thoughts stamp set. This has been one of my favorite thank you stamp sets, featuring 10 different stamps with some really great greetings in here. So let's get started so I can show you my homemade stencils. I am going to show you how to make 2 different cards today using my homemade stencil technique. So the first thing we're going to do is cover the cardstock for this first card. We've got a piece of Coastal Cabana that is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've already scored it at 5 1/2. So we're just going to burnish that good with our bone folder. And then I've got some white layers. The inside layer is 4 by 5 1/4. The front layer is 3 3/4 by 5. And then I've got a black layer that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So the first thing I want to show you here is the dies that come in this Mayflowers set of dies. These are just some really pretty flowers. We've got some intricate leaves, a whole leaf sprig here. This is retiring and it's on sale. Normally $31. This whole set of dies is only $26.35 while supplies last. It is part of our retiring product sale. If you haven't checked that out yet, you should go to my blog right here. There's a link on there to the sale so you can see everything on sale. Some things are up to 30% off. So what I did here, I hope you can see this. Let's put this on the black, is I took a window sheet and I die cut this flower out of it. Now, I can use this template over and over, and so this is my homemade stencil. You can do this with any of our dies. It's a fantastic way to get more use out of dies. Rather than just die cutting, we can now use them for stencils. One thing I do want to tell you is when you run this through your die cutting machine, it's going to crackle and pop and it's going to sound like you're destroying your die, but you're not. Just go with it. For some reason, window sheets are really loud when you die cut them. Okay, so I've got my stencil here. I'm going to take the smaller of our 2 Whisper White pieces, and I am going to figure out where I want my stencil to be. So I want my first flower to be right here. I'm going to bring in my ink colors. I've got Gorgeous Grape, Coastal Cabana, and Pineapple Punch. We're going to start with the Gorgeous Grape, and then I'm also using sponge daubers. So I've got a sponge dauber that I've set aside for each one of these colors. You're going to firmly hold this window sheet die cut flower in place. You don't want to let it move. And you're just going to sponge that color into the die cut areas. And I try not to get too far outside of the edge of the die. And of course, it's completely up to you. It's your card. You can do whatever you want. But that was just what I chose to do. Wait until you see when I lift this up. The magic happens. Oh my gosh, is that not so very pretty? I love doing this with my dies. Now, I'm going to change colors here. And one thing I noticed when I was making my cards is that there is just a little bit of ink on here that you're going to want to wipe off, because the first card that I made, I brought in the Pineapple Punch and it kind of altered the color of the bright yellow. So I wanted to make sure that I wiped that off. And you can start fresh here. Pineapple Punch, It's one of our in colors from last year, and it really took me a long time to warm up to it, but it's just a really bright, cheerful yellow, and I've been using it a lot lately. If you don't have this color, I would highly recommend it. Okay, and there's our next flower. What do you think? Pretty, huh? I'm going to move this aside and bring in that Coastal Cabana. And again, I'm just going to take my die and wipe that yellow off. There's just a tiny bit of ink that's left on this window sheet. And I'm just going to pull this one a little bit further over to the side. And again, we're going to sponge in some color with our sponge daubers. Now, one of the things I really like about the Stampin' Up! Sponge daubers is they've got a hole in the end so you can fit it on your finger. It just makes it a little easier to hang on to. And again, just a little bit around the outside edge of those petals. Isn't that so, so pretty? I love this. Okay, what am I going to do with it? Well, first of all, I'm going to wipe my die off so I'm ready to go with the next card because, yes, I do have another card to show you. I am going to bring in my Stamparatus. Now, since I've already done all this work, I didn't want to stamp my greeting and maybe get it crooked or not have it stamped completely and then waste all of this that I've already done, right? So I'm just going to open this up. I've taken a piece of our grid paper, and if you're not familiar with this, you get a whole pack of grid paper. This is for the Stamparatus. One side is metric, the other side is imperial measurements. And I like to push it up into the corner here and then use a pen, colored pen, to make a mark because that's where I have set up my card to be. The edge is going to be right there. I'm going to bring in some of my magnets here. Don't let your magnets smack together or they will break. That's what happened to this one. It still works, but you know, I'd rather it wasn't broken. I'm going to come in with some Memento ink. Little tip about using the Stamparatus is if you set a stamp case under it, it's going to keep this plate even rather than having it tilt down. This makes it a little nicer for your stamping. Now, what I found when I was using this sentiment from the Thankful Thoughts is it's very bold, and stamping it one time didn't make it dark enough for me. I wanted it to be really, really dark, and I think you can see that here. Let's see if I can pick this up without making too much fuss. Oh, there went my magnets together. Hang on, we got things going on. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this out so you can see that. You can see that this is, there we go, we've got better light now. Oh my gosh, I've got magnets sticking all over the place. Oh, there, I just broke another one. You can see here that it's not very dark, and I wanted this to be really crisp and dark. So that's why I decided to use my Stamparatus. We're gonna put this back in here, and we are going to hold it down with the magnets. I told you, I just broke another one. I wasn't kidding. So be really careful to keep those magnets away from each other. And I don't know, now I have more pieces. So I don't know if that's necessarily a really bad thing or not. You can order more magnets. We sell those, Stampin' Up! Does. So if you happen to break your magnets and you want more, you can order more. Now I need to make really good choices here on lining this up because I need it to be where it was before, right? And that's where that line on my grid paper comes in. Look how nice and crisp that is now. That is definitely very, very black, and that's exactly what I wanted. All right, I am going to bring in my inside layer. This is the 4 by 5 1/4 inch layer, and I did this one with the Stamparatus because I just really wanted it to be a straight greeting. Sometimes greetings are hard to get them straight. And once I had this lined up on here, I knew this greeting was going to be straight. And you can see that it's not as black as I would like it. If you can see right there on the word, Your Generosity. So I can stamp it again, and now it's perfect. And the front of my card says, thank you so much. And this says, your generosity is second only to your fabulosity. And I love this greeting. All right, we're going to put our Stamparatus over to the side here. And I'm going to bring my piercing mat back in. We have just a little bit more to do. One thing I want to caution you on too, when you have your homemade stencils cut out of your window sheets, sometimes they're really easy to lose. Today I had to take my phone and turn on the flashlight and go like this until this did a little shimmer in the light so I could find it, because I had no idea where I set it. I just wanted a little bit of this flower down here on the inside of my card just to make it pretty. Oops, I moved it just a little bit. Make sure you're holding on to that stencil good. There we go. Do a little bit more right there. Isn't that pretty? It's going to be a very pretty inside for our card. And actually, I'm going to set this aside and use this for the second card because I wanted to do something a little different with the inside of this card. So I just made a little boo-boo there. But I'm going to bring this back in here, and it's so nice that this is all set up for me because I can just stamp again. And again, this is going to be an inside layer. And it's not quite dark enough, so I'm going to stamp it again. Our Stamparatus is only $49, and I can tell you it will be the best $49 that you ever spend because this is such a useful tool. Okay, here's what I wanted to do. I grabbed this big flourish stamp out of the Falling Flowers stamp set, and I'm going to use the Coastal Cabana, and I'm just going to maybe turn this a little bit and stamp this right over here. And then do just a little flurry right up here. Look at how fancy that is. Isn't that pretty? I love that flourish. This stamp set and the dies that go with it are just a fantastic addition to my stamping library. I've really enjoyed them over the years. I've had them for quite a while. I don't remember how many years, but enough. Okay, next we are going to take our card front and add that to the black layer here. And this is just a really tiny little border, and it really makes this card front pop, and especially once we get it on our Coastal Cabana card base. Then I've got my bow jig and some black baker's twine. Black baker's twine also retiring. I'm really going to miss it. I don't know what I'm going to do without black baker's twine because I've used this so much over the years. I'm just going to tape this. Oops. Let's try it this way. I'm going to tape this to the back of my card. We're going to wrap it around a few times. I got 1, 2, 3. I kind of crossed it over a little bit. And grab another little piece of tape to secure this end. And trim that off. Before I go too much further, we're going to add some dimensionals to the back. This will be popped up on the front of our card. Now I want a bow right here. Let's get this mounted. We don't need it not to be mounted for anything else. So we're going to put this right on the front of our card. I love the colors. I love the way this really pops. There we go. Then I'm going to take my bow jig. And I have, if you're interested in getting one of these, I have a friend who sells them. You can pop me an email at kelly@astampabove.com and I'll forward your email on to her and she'll contact you. But if you would like to make one of your own, this is just a piece of wood. These two holes are 1 inch apart, and then there's a hole here and a hole here. And those are 1/2 inch apart. And then these are just nails. And this is just a great way to make bows. Okay, so I'm going to make a triple bow, which is my favorite. And I'm just going to wrap this around. Whoops, let me get this out of the way. Wrap this around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I've got long tails on here. you're going to cross it over, bring this bottom one up and over and under. Just like that. I do have a video that shows just this, how to use this bow jig. So if you get one or make one for yourself, you can look on my YouTube channel and search for bow jig, J-I-G. So here's a really cool triple bow. Use a little mini glue dot. And this is kind of like a cheating thing because I wanted to make a bow this way. They're always perfect versus trying to tie one, right? Let's see if this will curl a little bit. I like to curl my baker's twine. Sometimes I find that the black doesn't curl as much as the linen thread does, or the white. But it did give it a little body there, don't you think? Okay, last but not least, we need to add a little bling to this. And I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool. I love the putty end on this. It's perfect for picking up little tiny things. Whoops. Got to make sure you get them on there the right way. Let's try that again. Now it's stuck to my finger. There we go. Boy, that gave me a run for my money. And last but not least, I'm just going to add 3. What do you guys think of my homemade stencil? Isn't that a cool way to use this? So then I made another card that I wanted to show you. And this one is a little step up from this. So let's bring in our layers for that. You're going to need a scrap of pineapple punch. The white layer is the same size, 3 3/4 by 5, and then the black is an 1/8 inch bigger, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I've got a card base of pineapple punch that's 5.5 by 8.5. And if you guys want to find all these dimensions, they're going to be on my blog with these projects. So you can just go there. At the end of the video, I'll give you a link you can click on and you'll find all the dimensions there if you'd like to recreate this. And then I've just got a 1/2 inch strip of Whisper White. So the first thing we need to do is we need to die cut a black flower. This is going to be the layer we put on the front of our card, okay? So you're not wasting cardstock, just die cut it out of there. And then this layer is going to go right over top so you won't even know. And then we need a pineapple punch flower. So I have already die cut both of those just to save a little bit of time here. Aren't they pretty? This is like my favorite die cut flower. I love this one. We're going to do a little bit more stenciling on here. So let's bring in our stencil template. And I'm going to introduce one more color here. So I'm going to start right here in the middle. Well, in the middle on the side. How about that? And I'm going to bring in Melon Mambo. Thought this was a really pretty color to include with the other 3. And of course, with summer here in Wisconsin, it's been really cold and very rainy. And just today, we finally had a beautiful day where it was like, I don't know if it got up to 80 today, but it was so gorgeous outside. And I'm just grateful. My flowers are doing well. I got them all planted. Look at how pretty that is. It's just spectacular. Okay, let me set that aside. And then, whoops, we're going to, again, just wipe the ink off of this. On this side. Nope, it's this side. Okay. And then we're going to come in with some gorgeous scrape. Make sure you set these colors away from each other because earlier today I stuck my dauber in the wrong color. And then I had to go, you can just go and take it and wash it out. I just washed it in the sink and then pushed it on some paper towels to dry it off. When you're done using these, you can wash them out too if you want to. I just usually keep them. This will be my forever purple dauber and so on and so forth. Isn't that pretty? Love that. Okay, I'm going to do another one up here. Now I'm just going to go around and stencil these flowers. You know how to do this now, so I'll speed up my camera or skip forward so you don't have to sit here and watch me do this. I'll be right back. Okay, now that we have that done, I'm going to clean my stencil off. And what I like to do with these is keep them in with my framelits. Where did that go? Right here. And any little bits and pieces that I've die cut, you can see I have pieces back here from this bundle. I just put in with my dies. Maybe I'll use them on my next project. And then again, we're going to take this and add it to our black layer. Remember, we cut a flower out of our black layer. We're just pretending, okay? So don't waste that layer. Just cut your flower right out of the middle of it. I'm going to add this right here. And then I want a little black bow. So we're gonna make another bow. This time, last time I had it about this big. Now I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. And again, with that triple bow, I love that look. It's just, it's substantial. That's what I like about it. It's much bigger than a single bow. And of course, it's so easy to do with this bow jig. I highly encourage you make one or have somebody make one for you, or contact me and you can get one from my friend Denise. Okay, mini glue dots, here they are. I like to roll them up a little bit so they're not sticking out from under my baker's twine. That makes me a little crazy. I don't want to see a mini glue dot underneath of there. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on my bow. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. We're going to bring in this little strip and our Memento ink. Oh, where'd my stamp go? Right here. I've got a note of thanks. Let's see how many times it takes me to get this straight. Oh, that's perfect. Yay! Winning. I like it when things go well, right? Okay, we're gonna just cut this off. And I put a, I'm gonna pull this in a little bit. I put a banner end at each end of this. I like to cut my banner ends. We're going to trim this one up a little bit too. Let me see how long this is so I can tell you. About 3 inches. So I like to cut a little snip in the middle and then come in from each corner, and that'll help you avoid, you know, chop, 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 because it's not even, and then pretty soon you have to start over. Who's done that? Me! Okay. Then what we're going to do with these flowers is I'm going to grab some dimensionals. I'm going to take my black flower and get it lined up here. Ooh, that was easy. And I'm just going to offset it a little bit. So you can see that, you know, like right now it's perfectly even. I'm just going to offset it a little bit. I'm going to take my banner and use 3 dimensionals, which is really excessive, right? But I want, the dimensionals are going to hold my flowers in place, my black over my yellow. So I'm just going to take these and stick them right in the middle of my flower, just like that. And see, they're holding everything together. Then I'm going to take some more dimensionals and put them right behind that banner so you can't see it through the front of our flowers. And we're going to add these to the front of our card. Okay, here comes our layer right here. I'm going to put that about right down here. We've got our little bow. I'm just going to add that right over here. Isn't that pretty? What do you guys think? Okay, let's get the rest of our card put together. I had so much fun with this homemade stencil that I used the leaf, this detailed leaf in the Mayflower. What are these, thinlets or framelits? Framelits. This leaf, this detailed leaf, I use that as a stencil on another card, and I'm going to be featuring that on my Facebook Live on Sunday. So I do a Facebook Live free stamping class every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. And you'll find my Facebook group. When you do go to Facebook and do a search, you're going to look for a Stamp Above - Your Creative Coach. That's where you're going to find my Facebook business page. and you'll get to attend a free class. Lots of giveaways on there. I love giving stuff away. So make sure you come and check that out. And we have a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. I'm usually on for about an hour, hour and a half. And we usually do 2 to 3 different projects. So I'm going to be featuring another stencil project with that leaf, the detailed leaf, on Sunday night on Facebook Live. So I hope you'll be able to join me. Okay, then we need our inside. Where did that go? Remember, we already stamped it up. Oh, here it is, under my other dimensionals. I've got dimensionals everywhere here. Here goes the inside. I love that Coastal Cabana with the pineapple punch. Isn't that pretty? A note of thanks. Your generosity is second only to your fabulosity. I love this. So here is both of our cards made with our homemade stencil. Which is your favorite? Which one do you like better? I like the colors on this. It's really bright and cheerful, but I love this big blocky greeting. One of my favorite things. I love big greetings. Okay, remember, last chance. This set of framelits is on our retirement list. Oops, hang on. I've got a kind of a goofy thing going on here. And it's only available through June 3rd. Mayflowers Framelit Dies. It's on sale, usually $31. It's only $26.35. Then we've got the Falling Flowers, which is a matching, these two were sold as a bundle at one time. They're not bundled anymore, but it's the set that corresponds with this. Falling Flowers is also retiring June 3rd. And sad to see this leaving too. The Thankful Thoughts will be retiring. You get 10 different sentiments in here, all with a thank you theme. So 8 stamps in here, 10 in here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, 8 or 9 different framelits in here. So there you go, you guys. Now, you have to make sure that you click up here. That'll take you to my blog where you can hop along with the Totally Technique design team. These demonstrators are from all over the world. There's only one demonstrator in each country. And I love to see all the different ideas with the same theme. So again, everybody's going to be doing something with stencils on this blog hop. So I hope you will click up there, join us. Don't forget to click down here to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't want to miss anything I have coming out. We've got a lot of fun stuff. And if you're new to Stampin' Up! And you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or maybe your demonstrator is no longer doing business, whatever the case may be, I would love to earn your business. You can pop me an email. You're going to find my email address. Well, I'll just put it right here on the screen. Kelly@astampabove.com. We have a brand new catalog coming out June 4th. I would be happy to send you one. Pop me an email, let me know your address. I can get that in the mail to you right away. Okay, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend it with me. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.